All good, mate, just working on the job.
Gee, he's doing the heavy lifting, isn't he? Jesus.
Excuse me, comfort.
Get out of my damn way!
Good afternoon, legends. It is Saturday. I've had a very busy day, actually. I had a big effort this morning. I had a puncture during my bike workout, so I had to go to the store before and get some of these things. They're good fun. But that is not what has made this hard a little bit tricky. Me and my partner went on a hike, as you would have seen at the start of the video, and that is going to cause me way more pain and discomfort and probably soreness in my legs than any kind of ride that I've done in the recent past, which is really interesting to me. Also, the hats are still on sale. Welcome 10 at checkout gets you 10% off. That's as much as 2 of these canisters, okay, if you're a cyclist. And if you're not a cyclist, if you're a runner, then that's as much as 2 goo gels, the good flavors, not the shit flavors. Now, I think this big hike has genuinely cooked my legs. It's something that I don't normally do. It's something completely different, and on top of having a ride beforehand and then doing that straight away, cooked my legs. There's gonna be a different kind of pain tomorrow than I'm actually used to, okay? And that actually reminds me of a topic that I've been wanting to talk about recently, and that is pain itself. Not, you know, I've hurt myself pain, but perceived effort pain and soreness the next day. Like, what's good, what's bad, what should you avoid, all that kind of stuff. Now, this seems to be a pretty big issue for quite a lot of people, you know. I've seen those CrossFit, High Rocks, HIIT gyms just explode in the last couple of years. And bro, their sessions are absolutely cooked half the time. Like, they're just flip-flopping between all these HIIT workouts for like a long period of time. Like, man, that heart rate must be so high and those legs must be absolutely bricked. Absolutely crazy to me. It's just pain for pain's sake. Now, I'm not against pain. I think pain in workouts is pretty important at some periods in the year, but draining the tank every day is not a good idea. But it is really fun. Now, I'm not saying that those people are bad for doing those kind of sessions and stuff. In fact, I think it's really, really cool. I think more people should be doing them and getting themselves fitter and active and, you know, living a healthier lifestyle. And most importantly, finding something that's really fun and that is also exercise that you will happily go and do forever. That's absolutely perfect. But for everyone else on this channel who's more performance minded and is focused on getting better as a runner, I don't think this philosophy of doing really hard shit all the time and getting in the pain cave and draining the swamp and what else? Emptying the tank and going back for seconds, that's probably about as many as I can think of, is really going to be that valuable for your training. And in fact, it's probably going to end up not allowing you to get everything out of your training. Like Eliud Kipchoge, right? In his training, he only exerts around 80% of his max effort for all of his training. Everything's super controlled. And it's all about consistency over time. He's not going back for seconds. He's not draining the swamp. He's not emptying the kettle. He's not emptying the gas tank on anything really until race day, and maybe a little bit of time before race day to make sure that he's at peak fitness. I think there's value in this delayed gratification approach, okay? Leaving things in the tank, not bricking your legs on a daily basis, and overall thinking and structuring your year in a much more sophisticated way. Here's something that I've been thinking about for probably, I don't know, probably a year now. I think I've talked about it in a video before. You don't have to train hard to also train fast, okay? The goal is to have some fast running in your sessions, but it doesn't have to be hard. It does not have to be hard. Now, as much and as often as the missus wants to tell me that it should be fast and hard at the same time, that doesn't really work with running, okay? We can't do fast and hard workouts all the time, okay? We can do fast all the time. We cannot do hard all the time. You see, there's a law of diminishing returns, okay? And if you crank out really hard efforts all year round, they're eventually going to do nothing, okay? We need to have the right kind of specificity. Let's think about this, right? Something that's really, really hard would be a 1 hour effort at threshold, okay? That would be absolutely insane, okay? Your legs would be bricked 4 days. But what you could actually do is break this up into intervals, okay? And have long rest times and get the same amount of time at this fast speed without making it so hard. Does that make sense? Fast does not equal hard. So here's the deal. Maybe get a pen and paper and write this down as I say it, because I think it's actually very, very important. Pain does not equal progress. Pain does not equal progress. Yeah, you might be in a lot of pain in some workouts and you might not even progress from them because they're probably too fatiguing and not specific enough for what you're trying to do at that particular point in the year, okay? There's no point doing really hard long runs when you're not training to be able to run really hard for a long period of time. It doesn't make sense, okay? That's the classic gray zone running with the boys long run where you're just running at tempo efforts and, you know, barely being able to string a sentence together. It's so common. And yeah, you're gonna feel super cooked after a session like that, but it doesn't mean that you actually progressed your fitness in any way measurably to your goals. Like, what are your goals right now? For example, right now, my goals with running are absolutely infinitesimal. It just doesn't even matter right now. All I'm focused on is 10-minute power on the bike because I want to do a hill climb in 10 minutes. So what am I doing? I'm doing 2-minute efforts on a Tuesday at, you know, close to that effort with a lot in reserve so that I'm not getting fatigued. I'm doing big aerobic mileage to build up that aerobic base. I'm not doing 500 watt surges for as long as I can until my legs are completely bricked beyond belief. I'm not doing that because it's not relevant to what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build up my 10-minute power. I think what we're doing with this endurance training and running training business is trying to match up the fatigue that we're building with some sort of specific outcome, okay? We're trying to push our fitness in a direction where we're getting more specific to the goal that we have. And then once we're getting into that zone, we can spend a little bit of time of the year doing some really fatiguing stuff to push the physiology in that specific aspect, okay? This is why your training blocks that you're doing for races and things like that, they always have a peak area where you're doing the most specific stuff and you're trying to get as much as you can out of your body in that aspect and getting more fatigued, but only in a specific way, okay? If you did that for 20 weeks, you'd probably get injured and you'd probably get sick of it and you'd probably would start going backwards, okay? What we have to do is think smarter about our actual training and think long-term and try and pick out these 4 to 6 week blocks of the year where we can really focus on something very specific, where we can push really hard. And then once we've done pushing really hard and we've done that race, get the hell out of there, let the body recover and go back to that 80% Eliud Kipchoge rule. That is my philosophy in my training at the moment. And now that I'm getting some real good volume in and some consistency, I know that this is going to help me so much. Following these kind of strategies and rules that other elite people have done. I'm not saying that I'm elite. I shouldn't really say other elite people. That the best elite runners in the world do. That's going to be absolutely vital to me becoming not a dog shit average peasant runner. So in summary, pain does not equal progress. Okay, remember that and cement that in your brain. If you have to tattoo it on your arm, like all those Go One More people, do it because it will help, okay? Number 2, you can train fast, but not hard, okay? You can do things and you can break them up into intervals and shorten them and things like that to make it fast so that you can continue improving your physiology, but not making it hard, okay? The only time that we train brutally hard is in that 4 to 6 week block. And point number 3, remember, the hard has to be specific to a certain goal that you're trying to do, okay? There's no point doing really hard things. It's not gonna change your physiology depending on the goal that you have. That hike did absolutely fuck all for me, even though it's gonna make me sore in the morning, just like a very specific bike session will make me feel just as sore, but it's gonna give me a chance to achieve my goals. So get more specific with your training and follow all these rules, and you're going to be amazing and get some grapes in your fucking mouth. Get a nice hat, 10% off, welcome 10, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.